MeetFelt.
Hey yo, stop limping.
Fasten your freaking seatbelt. It's MeetFelt when he sell cards. Download real-time assistance because you need help. No one can save you. I'm kinda crazy like Bayview. You can play your hand charts like Penn Badgley. I play you. That line went over your head like you playing high stakes. Broke my stage. Take a break. Put it on my plate. Without support, I won't be able to find nothing. So thanks for watching. Make sure you smash the subscribe button.
Yo, I ain't even gonna hold you. This looks like a casting couch. What's up, guys? It's your boy MeetFelt, aka Justin Chiro, aka barely break even sober poker player. So I've kind of been avoiding this long enough. It's time to address the elephant in the room. Where have I been? They tried to make me go to rehab, and I said, sure.
True story. Because I did go to rehab for 28 days. Wasn't trying to make fun of Amy Winehouse there. Sorry. For real though, if you actually look at that picture, I kind of do look like a down bad Amy Winehouse. And that's being nice. But, you know, if I actually worked on myself and got never mind. So for those who don't know, I decided a little over 3 months ago to get sober. And I think a lot of people would say finally. Because the reality is I should have got sober a long time ago. My drinking ultimately went from something that I found cute and whimsical, life of the party type stuff, to completely out of control. But the ironic thing is, if you ask anybody else, I don't really think that my drinking was ever that cute or that whimsical. It was just bad. Now I talk about that a lot on my TikTok, so make sure you're following me on that platform to keep up with that journey. Anyway, most people are happy with my decision, and honestly, to disagree with it, it's a little weird, right? Who wouldn't want to see someone try to better their life? But with that said, whether it's friends, family, poker playing peers, or even counselors or therapists, they generally ask two questions. First, how does it feel playing poker sober? And second, do you think poker is good for your sobriety? Now the first one's really easy. I haven't really felt that much different playing poker sober because I decided to cut down on drinking while playing. It was probably my only outlet to moderation at that point because I knew even a half sip too much can fuck with my ROI, and I didn't want to do that. Honestly, the only time I consistently drank was during free bar poker leagues. And I actually got banned from the league briefly for 3 months in late 2024 due to public intoxication. And that's a great way to set an example as a wannabe poker ambassador. Actually, right? I lied. I remember very specifically the last time that I played poker under the influence.
So we're at live, and this guy is shit-faced. We're sitting next to each other, and so I'm vibing, and I'm in recovery, so I'm just thinking, I see him playing. All right, dude. But I could see the pain in his face, and I was like, damn, dude. I wonder if this guy's ever gonna figure it out, right?
The point is, when it comes to poker that actually matters for my role, I'd already stopped drinking or drank minimally. And as for those who drink excessively in front of me while I'm actually playing for money that matters, the only effect they'll really have on me is hopefully adding to my chip stack when they make a mistake. So, fucking cheers, dude. Let's talk about that second question though, because it's blurry as fuck. I mean, I know my answer in my heart of hearts is yes, because when I play within my means. As long as I play within my means and maintain a significant skill gap between me and other small stakes players, it's going to be helpful to my sobriety. And then for a second, forget psychologists, therapists, and non-behavioral health traditionalists who automatically lump poker in with other forms of gambling and dopamine chasing. Unless they spent any time playing at the volume of a serious reg, they can't possibly understand the subtle nuances in play that make good players good and bad players incapable of winning long-term without adapting their strategy. Now, I might not be setting the world on fire, and I certainly have my flaws, but I am a winning player. While I need to get better in recognizing marginal plus EV spots and address some minus EV fundamental flaws, the fact is I'm willing to put in the work to better myself. This actually sounds familiar. I might be in early recovery, and I certainly have my flaws, but fundamentally, I'm a good person. While I need to get better in developing better coping skills and address some negative thought patterns, fact is, I'm willing to put in the work to better myself. And the truth is, my poker background is a conduit that allows me to more easily adapt a fresh perspective about my new life and sobriety. And I say all that to say, yes, I believe it's good for my recovery. It might not be great for someone else's though. For instance, like a casual losing player who associates poker with a social gathering fueled by alcohol, would probably be foolish to sit down at a table in early recovery. It just is what it is. Frankly, it's the reason I haven't really played as much bar poker lately. Just too much temptation there. And look, I'm aware there's a fine line between passion and addiction. As somebody who truly loves the game, my goal is to help others see that poker can be a valuable aid in recovery and not necessarily a pothole. And I'm also trying to teach those who are either in recovery or serve the recovery community that poker, like sobriety, and life in general, is about doing the next right thing and living with the consequences.
Here's the thing though, you gotta take everything with a grain of salt. Fact of the matter is, I'm in early recovery. And obviously, I have a passion for poker, so maybe my vision is a little bit skewed. But if you don't want to take my word for it, because I'm in early recovery, let's hear from somebody that's not only been in recovery for a little bit, but is very heavily involved in the recovery world, and that is, again, my man, Uneven Money.
Me being new, I just wanted to like kind of get plugged in and meet some people because I didn't know what the fuck to do with clean.
Sure.
I didn't know what to do with myself. So we played cards. I didn't know how to play cards, and so, but it became like this thing, this poker night that like I knew it wasn't about like going to meetings. It wasn't about like step work. It was just like vibing with other people that were clean. And like, because at the end of the day, like I get to learn shit at a meeting. Like that's my safe place. But recovery happens of the shit that I do outside of a meeting, like going out to dinner, playing cards, hanging out with the guys and shit like that. So that's why for me, like playing poker, you know what I mean, that shit's huge for my recovery because it's outside of the regular shit that I do, going to meetings, going to dinner and stuff. It's just another thing to add to my recovery and to my foundation and shit. So.
Which leads us back to this casting couch. Again, if you know, you know. And by the way, I want to point out, this is not a casting couch. I promise you it's not a casting couch. Not into that kind of content. I'm actually at a sober living home, living with a bunch of other sober individuals, trying to get their lives together, get some foundation in their recovery, and, you know, learn how to live life when life lifes. Basically, spent the whole video talking about how, yes, the conclusion is, in my opinion, poker is good for my sobriety. However, I don't want that to be the main takeaway. See, I've been an advocate for poker for quite a while. My goal is to increase awareness of how great this game is. I have another goal now, to embrace sobriety and recover out loud. Not to be ashamed of struggling with addiction, not to be ashamed of struggling with alcoholism. And while poker is good for my sobriety, in my opinion, of course, without my sobriety, not only is there no poker, there's no father, there's no son, there's no, well, I don't have a significant other, but there's no me. The way I was living before didn't really get me anywhere. So, the definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Time to try something new. By the way, you might be noticing that feltupoker.com is down currently. Don't worry, it'll be back up. We have some good releases coming out for the wintertime, specifically focused on that good old wintertime weather.